Welcome to Nothing's Wrong podcast. We are excited to be here with you for this episode. This is the third episode that's piggybacking off of the last two episodes. So if you didn't check them out, 2 weeks ago we dropped Ladies, Are You Benefiting from Your Relationships? And last week we got a response back from the males listeners and we dropped Are You Worth the Investment? So definitely check out those videos because tonight we're bringing up gold diggers versus sex addicts. So,
and I know it might not be a topic that everybody wants to discuss. But before we get started, go ahead and follow our social medias. We got the Instagram. Go follow us on that. That's Nothing's Wrong Podcast.
Hit the IG.
We're here on YouTube. So click the follow, the like, the subscribe, the comments. Because when you comment, it actually makes life a little bit easier. I mean, we get to communicate. We get to become a community. Yes, we may not have all of the same views, but we definitely get some answers, have some fun, and go deep on conversations that aren't really comfortable for some people. But hey, that's what we're doing tonight. We're going to go right into some deep topics that may not make you so happy. But hey, closed mouths don't get fed, so you might as well hear what we got to say.
And you know, it's not called Nothing's Wrong Podcast for no reason.
Okay.
So if it's a problem for you,
it's not a problem in general.
It's not a problem for us. So let's get into it, guys.
Yes. So I like that she has the bloody red, really good for the topic tonight because it's like very
right. Are you digging
hardcore.
For gold?
Right. And clearly I got my silk shirt on, so you know I'm digging.
Are you a sex addict? Are you a gold digger? Are you a sex addict? Because we
Are you a sex symbol? Which one? Okay.
You got your pink.
It's not even
your
that
lips,
serious.
your eyes, your shirt. Everything is pink. Your cheeks.
Yes, I'm cheeky today, pinky. It's
Pinky
Sunday.
in the brain.
Pinky in the brain. But yeah, exactly. I'm Pinky. She's the brain. You know it. But Pinky's still smart though. But I'm a elevated Pinky.
Right. You gotta stay elevated.
Yeah, because Pinky, you know, at times is looking for somebody to give them the answer, and the brain is like, I got the answer, stupido. Stupid. Yeah. No, but he's so like it's really funny. And the way that it's like, but he still the brain still has love, still has heart.
He needs Pinky.
Yeah, he's exactly.
Like, oh,
remember
you're
when
right,
he thought
Pinky.
he could do it without Pinky?
Yeah, and it's like you can't.
No.
You always need that. They both serve their purpose.
Exactly.
So I think that's what we do. We balance each other out, and
most definitely.
Even though that's what your mother has told you.
I made Isabel for you because, you know, without Isabel,
so guys, my life purpose is
me, and that's why she's here
to be here for this one
and be here for you. Okay, we're all here. Dang, this is how stupid I am. I didn't even know my own password.
All
right, guys.
For a password?
Yes, I've been trying to put this password in for like 20 minutes. The whole time we've been recording. I'm like, wrong password. And good thing, like, this is not a computer, like, I had, like, Windows before, so every time you would put your password incorrect, I think at work, actually, not in, I guess, any of these computers that are personally to you, will it lock you out? So,
I'm like, all I got is put my touch, so it's easier.
Don't let them cut your finger to just put a
what information I got
thumbprint in there.
It's like, let me get that laptop.
trust me,
there's people
there
in the
is
world,
people
I know.
that is really
But they ain't watching this, hopefully. I mean, unless they're like, I'm addicted to sex or I'm a drug dealer. I mean,
yeah,
gold digger,
drug dealer. That's what they associate with
gold digging and drug dealer and sex addict. It's all the same thing. Mm-hmm. That's pimping and hoeing, baby.
She's silly, and I love it. So this is a conversation that may not be for everybody. So I know this is a lot of people are very uncomfortable because they either think you're a gold digger or they are that sex addict.
I feel like people just got it wrong, though.
They do.
That's what even a gold digger and what a sex addict is. So let's break that down first.
Okay.
What does society consider being a gold digger?
Someone who is looking for somebody, a male or a female, who's wealthy. Or it's, someone who's digging for gold. That's an actual job.
Like a minor.
Exactly.
And what does...
A sex addict?
Yeah. What does that mean?
So someone who's always consistently looking for sex. They could be married and they still looking for outside sex. Like they're just continuously wanting to have sex.
Right.
And that's the main thing about it. So what would you say for those two?
Well, I feel like when people bring up gold digging, then you need to bring up sex addicts,
right,
as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like those two things are the situations that both parties are going through.
Right.
And sex addicts could go, for me, to womanizers,
mm-hmm.
to, men like that. And, like, just to hear, okay, let's go into this. Just to hear and see and read the comments that we got back from the last 2 episodes.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And
let's talk about it.
It's really interesting because the men, I feel,
mm-hmm.
don't like to hear that we want them to be men.
Mm-hmm.
And they almost want to fight you and defend the fact that they're not being men. Because this would have to be men who aren't being men.
Exactly.
Really, what we're saying,
mm-hmm.
if you didn't check it out already, what we're saying is men, be the provider.
Mm-hmm.
Women, be the woman. That's it.
Point blank and period. But I think that either or, men or women, get mad at the fact that the finance has to be talked about and has to be the one that has to provide the most. And they're
in that section in life. Like, if you think about it, that's the biggest thing that men have to do. That's it. Provide. Women have to make sure the house is together, make sure the kids are together, make sure the pleasing you is together, make sure that her life is together, her own consciousness, her own personal journey is together.
Mm-hmm.
See, like, guys who've been married 4 times,
mm-hmm.
and you think, like, dang, how could you get married so many times?
But they're like, can I say something? Mm-hmm. Do you know that you seeing men get married 4 times? Mm-hmm. So Ethel, remember Ethel from I Love Lucy?
Yeah.
She was married 4 times in her life.
Right.
And
people like that, it's like, oh, you don't give up on what you want. Like, you just go for it.
Right.
And you just live life. You have experience.
Right.
Like, if something didn't work out for you, it didn't jade you from moving forward.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
That's beautiful that you were able to fall in love so many times.
And
regardless if people think it's for money.
No, sex is very, like, scary topic, I think, for Americans. It's not a conversation that they don't want to have. This is a closed door type of thing. And so I feel like a lot of people are uncomfortable from the Western...
Right. But we're just saying in what women really want at the end of the day.
Like it or not, even a woman that's not receiving it is wishing that she can have that.
Let me tell you something. I remember when I was younger and there was an older woman who I was friends with, And he just was like there one time when I was like receiving a date. And this woman, she didn't have like a baller or anything. Like she wasn't about the money. But when she found out the profession of the guy, she was like, girl, go on the date. So every woman knows somewhere, even if she's not living that life, that at the end of the day, yeah, that's how you think. So for men to get upset of how women need to feel protected, regardless if she's getting it or not, she would always want that. Even the men, they would always want their daughters to want to marry up and, you know, receive a better lifestyle. Everybody would want that for their child. Right. So, and for women, that's part of like who we are in our journey. So for men to really attack it, and it's kind of like, are you not even in the reality that you live in? Like, let yourself thrive if you're not there yet. And that's the people who are complaining. The people who got it, they're not complaining.
No. And then
providers
I
also
played Grant Cardone on our story.
Let's take a listen to what Grant Cardone's thoughts are on gold digger.
Find a stud like you.
Look, man, I'd be a gold digger if I were you. I don't know what the whole big deal is. Somebody asked Elena the other night, are you a gold digger? Like, well, what you digging for? Dude, what's wrong with that? Why has that become a bad thing? I'm digging for gold every freaking day of my life. Why wouldn't you go dig for gold? If I was going out with a guy, Brittany, I'd say, hey, let me see your financials, buddy. Okay? I ain't going out with a guy that's broke. I'm not going out with a guy that can't freaking bank money, can't pay his credit cards. How's he going to take care of your kids if he can't freaking bank? So I would change the places you go. I'd start going to the country clubs, the charity events. Dude, I'd be freaking digging gold. There's nothing wrong with a woman. Because look, landing a guy that's rich.
That's a great tip, by the way.
Landing a guy that's rich is one thing, okay? Staying with him and creating the life he wants, that's a different deal. I mean, I'm not saying you would dig for gold, just go for the money and not find somebody you love. You want the whole deal. That's wealthy. You want the whole package. But why would I go freaking just take leftovers?
He doesn't see anything wrong about
He said,
gold.
you better be digging for gold. I'm digging for gold. It's like, you think I'm going to take gold out with you if you don't have finances? You think I'm going to spend my time with you? Like, when there's so many other men in the world that are doing so many other things. Like, come on. You expect us to choose low? Oh, for love. How could I fall in love with you? And it's the same way with men. If you weren't that much into looks, my looks is what got you here. Whether it was my face, whether it was my body, whether it was my feet, I don't know. But that's what got me here. Right. And then you got to know me. So don't sit there and say, oh, you know, what about love? It was never about love for the beginning for you. For women, it's who she feels that she could be the safest with.
Right.
Period.
Right.
And
no questions asked about that.
That's it. And when you're around men who you can feel safe around, you are able to thrive, be creative, and he receives from it. Let's talk about that, of how men actually receive more. Napoleon Hill writes about it in The Laws of Success. And he have that woman. As a man, you don't have that woman. You're not really reaching your full potential. Now, if you can't afford a woman right now, that's fine. Or you can date. But I'm saying to the women, that should always be your goal, to reach somewhere high. And I'm not saying there needs to be women to build with men. Because then, who's those men going to have when y'all get divorced later on? The young ladies.
It's true.
They're gonna want the young lady.
Because you gotta understand that. Okay, let's use celebrities for instance. Kevin Hart, wasn't he married twice, right? And so
as soon as he made enough money,
exactly,
he switched up and got the girl he wanted.
Yeah,
for real, for real. So he had one that he built with. This is the difference in looks, the difference in the way that they are. Really look at what happens, when these guys actually get what they want. So don't be sitting there being what that guy wants. Go be what the guy who already has the funds, has had the idea of what it means and ready to go into marriage more quickly and more, well, if he's the right type of guy.
So that being said, Like, literally, you got to understand where the stages of life is. You want to build with somebody, build with them. Nobody's telling you not to build. No one's telling you it's not a good idea.
Because you're building yourself too.
Because exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes we all go through the building stage with people. I know I have. So once you realize, like, hey, this is not for me, I need to move on, just move on. But what we're trying to say tonight is that you don't have to wait.
Right.
You don't have to wait. I think it's because we wasn't trained and we were dealing with people who had that mindset.
So the women during that time of the millennials growing up, your parents telling you, women, especially in the melanated community, you know, be independent, have this, don't depend on anybody. And what people mess up on, not being able to depend on anybody or trust anybody hurts you in the end. Because if you don't put trust in somebody, then you'll never receive trust, regardless of how they treat you.
Right.
Regardless of how it ends out in the end. You put trust not for that person, but for yourself, so you can feel comfortable and thrive more. People mess up on that. And that's when they like become that independent mindset. I'm not telling you not do things for yourself. I'm telling you, allow other people to do things for you as well.
But they do it anyways. They put trust in their job. They put trust in their, you know, bank account. They put trust in like a lot of things. They put trust that they should go somewhere. They put trust everywhere else. But when it comes to putting trust in just a specific person, you know, they even do that. Yeah. So I just don't see what the problem is, that people just don't understand that. Because if you are wealthy and you are dealing with a woman, you're not going to complain about doing stuff like being a provider. Because if you have it, you're going to do it. Like if we were using today, for example, if we were out to eat with, you know, our girls or, you know, any of, you know, our girls. That's the only people that I would just be paying for. I wouldn't be paying for a group of men.
No.
You know? So if I'm with my girls, I'm going to be like, okay, like, I'm going to look at the check and I'm like,
I'll get the check. Because at the end of the day, it's a headache to go through the hard stuff of
waiting for everybody to split the check.
And it's just like, hey, send me the money and I'll pay the bill. Period.
And sometimes I don't even care about pay me the money. I'm just like,
we had a great time.
We're having a great time.
And when you're around successful men,
they're fighting for the bill.
They're fighting to pay the bill.
Both of them. They're like, oh, or whoever.
3 of them.
Yeah,
4 of them.
I'll take care of it.
I'll take care of it.
No,
I
you got it next time.
About it.
So, like, what is the big deal?
Fighting to give the waitress the card. So
going
I
to
love
the
when I'm in
restroom
an
first
experience like that. I'm like, oh, I'm living the life. That's a good time when you have like a restaurant day where you're in a restaurant and with guys and they're like paying the bill, and it's like whatever you want to eat. You're like some other girls there just hanging out. Like I love
having a good time. Yeah, but you know what? And it's not only women that's feeling this way. People who don't have money, who hang out with people who do have money, they love that feeling too.
Yeah.
So what are y'all talking about?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
They're mad because we're willing to talk about it and we're willing to say, hey, this is the reality that we live in. And we're not saying, you know, it's for everybody, but most women, if they're being honest with themselves, do want a provider. That's the first instinct is like, oh, he can provide. Like, if you think about it, let's use your President Trump.
Right. Is he a provider?
The one thing you can say about him is he's a provider and he doesn't mind. We all can look at his wives, past and present. They was clearly what you guys would label as gold diggers. Right?
They definitely called them a gold digger.
So, but I don't think he's dumb enough to not know that.
He doesn't care.
That's the
He
point.
cares about the companionship.
Exactly.
He cares about like what really matters in the relationship.
The money isn't the big deal when you have money. And when you don't have money, it becomes a big deal.
It's a big problem.
It's a big problem. But he's like, I have money, and if I'm going to spend it on somebody, I'm going to spend it on me. Spending it on her is spending it on me because her being happy here, all that stuff is making me happy. She's an asset to me because I know the energy she brings. Remember, you ladies... ladies. You gotta know who you are, sis. You gotta know the actual energy, that goddess energy that they all speak of. It's not just buzzwords, it's actual truth. All this craziness going on, all of this society, all this money talk, all this everything that you're living through this matrix, it's all for you. Understand that. At the end of the day, it's all for you. Men are simple. Men are the dramatics, the state, they don't need it. But you do. And that makes them want to, because you there. That's the same way when you go to a club and the ladies don't have to pay and the ladies can go sit at the table for free. She can go anywhere and drink. She don't have to go to the club with money, but men, you do. Why? Because you're here for the women that's here.
Why do you think they created the club?
It's based off the reality. And so the woman, obviously, if that's her reality, she should be looking for the best deal for herself, no matter where that lands. It's wherever she decides to aim her target. But don't hate. Don't be mad at if you're mad that you can't do that, that's one thing. If you're mad that that's an option, that's hating.
But this is what kind of society we live in. Full of people who can't just
let
people be themselves, make the choices that they make. You guys are out there being consistent sex addicts without considering yourself being one. But what do you require in a woman, right? It's their looks.
Right.
The looks, number one. Because if they don't look good to you, then
it's not
happening. I don't care if you have a good personality.
Right.
I'll be your friend.
Right.
That's why you got a lot of women that are your friends.
Okay, so I want to sidebar you real quick.
Sure.
I randomly was on this girl's YouTube channel, and I don't know her name. Can't really figure it out. But she was an overweight young girl, and she was talking about how she was about to go on a date with a guy, and she had told him that she was like fat, and but he was just like, oh, I'm trying to like hit it and cuddle, and do you want to go get ice cream after? And then she was like, well, we can just go get drinks after. She's like, why don't we just go get drinks? And then she had told him like, oh, but I'm fat. And he was like, oh, well, I usually like thick girls. He was like, how big we talking? And then she's like, said her size. He was like, oh, well, maybe we can be friends. She was like, yeah, we can definitely be friends. I would love to be your friend. So then she gets ready to go on the date, and he comes and picks her up, and they don't even get to the end of the street. And he's like, you know what? I can't do this. And he just is like, I can't do this. And she was like, what, like, you can't be my friend? And then he was just like, like, I can't do this. And I'm sorry. And then he was like, I'll drive you back home. And she was like, no, I'll walk, whatever. Like, I'm good. And then so she walks, and she was like, like, how dare he? Like, he couldn't even, like, she was like, this guy's 33 acting like this. Like, he couldn't even be my friend. Like, he, like, basically saying he wouldn't be friends with an obese person, an overweight person. And, he was ugly anyways. She's like, I'm not going to let an ugly guy make me cry. And there was a lot going on there. What do you think? I was talking a lot.
That shows how much guys are very into the looks thing. Because all she said was like, hey, I'm a little bigger than the normal people that you normally talk to.
She was honest with him.
Yeah. She kept it real. And she was like, but we could at least be friends or whatever. Like, just still go out to eat. Yeah. We're just going to be friends.
Get drinks, yeah.
Yeah. And he was still thinking about sex.
That's what I'm saying.
The whole time. And that's how y'all think. Completely.
because that's the only reason why he
How
said,
couldn't he be her friend?
Let me tell you something. Because there was never no friend in his head.
No.
He was like, maybe she's not as bad as she said, because it could still be fine.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm going to just try. And then when it came in his face, he could not. He was like, I can't even sleep with that. So there's no more friend. You see how you can't have no real male friends?
Because the whole time I was hearing
there was
in my
never
head,
no friends.
One second. The whole time I was hearing the story in my head, I was like, oh, like he's gonna think of this cuddle girl, like, you know, I'm gonna still cuddle with you even though you know you're fat. I'm like chubby, even though she's fat.
She's fat.
So whatever. So
she's fat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why she said
not funny, but
like no neck fat.
Okay, so she's fat, but in his head he probably thought like I still can smash.
Yeah,
you know, friends with benefits,
right?
Type of thing.
Exactly.
He was like, all right,
that's the only type of friends men understand.
He was like, I still can hit it because you know that's just somebody I can go and use.
You met him online.
He's not gonna be in his mind. He's like, I'm gonna use you, right? I'm gonna use you just to have sex with you.
And she was okay with that. She was okay with that. She wanted that at least.
Yeah,
she wanted that at least. And you know, it's her bad to think that men want to be your friend. Never put yourself down, even if you have like, you know, overweight issues or you feel like you're not the cutest. You still have to have a level of respect for yourself and know these guys aren't here to be your friend. If they, first of all, online, that's already like you're open to smashing.
Right.
That's kind of, it's like it could happen.
It's down to the point. Is without them even saying it.
And he was straight up in it. He was straight up in it. These guys, they accuse women of gold digging. How about guys like him that straight up and down, I just want to smash and cuddle. Boom, pow. There's so many.
Do you
guys
hear
like
that in their music? Like if you hear all the rap, hip hop music, they're talking about sex all the time.
They're talking about it in Afro beats.
Everything.
They're talking about it in all genres of music. They're just talking about their experience with women.
Okay. It all comes down to women. Life comes down to the woman. Right. Either or. You cannot tell me it's not true, because even a male who is gay, he is even going down to the woman, just like wanting to be a woman's friend. Be a woman, transgender, like it comes down to the women, so we're the ones that created this world.
That's true. Even if a guy is gay, he still needs women in his life. That's very, very true.
So have some respect for us, and don't get upset because we want better for our lives than to deal with someone broke. If you had a daughter, you're gonna tell her, oh yeah, it's okay, baby, bring the plumber as your boyfriend, or bring the guy from Burger King and start dating him instead of dealing with the CEO's son who's interning and may start working there as soon as he gets of age. Those are the people who you would want your child to deal with. So
in real life,
change your environment and stop thinking so low and thinking that you can't even get to that level. Everybody has that opportunity, not just Caucasian people or people who went to school. It's about anybody. This is your world for the taking. Take it. Do what you want with it.
Manifest it. People don't understand the power that they naturally have through manifestation and how you can actually get what it is that you want as long as that's what you want.
I think they're afraid because they were trained. You have to stop thinking that what your parents said or what their parents said is just a generational cycle of people not knowing the real truth.
Look at what your parents did. And see if you want that same experience. If you want that
and be honest with yourself,
then go through that same experience. But if you don't want that same experience, then I suggest you start looking to the people who had the experience you had and go after that.
And don't be afraid to be hurt through the information that you find out.
Right.
Don't be afraid.
Be
just
open
start,
to change.
just open.
Like in the beginning of my level up journey, I didn't realize like the way that I was dressing, the conversations I would have, the way I was just like presenting myself, I would say, was not the image that I actually wanted to give off. I thought, well, society needs to just accept me, you know, for who I am. I really looked at my outcome of that and what I was getting out of that. And it wasn't necessarily bad, but it was not exactly what I wanted. And I was like, this is not the image that I want, the energy that I want, the anything that I want. So I started changing who I was because of the things that I wanted. And so the way I dressed started changing, the way I even did my hair and wore my nails and just did everything, spoke, changed. The conversations I would have, the, you know, patience I started to collect. Right. All of these things started to come in once I started realizing, hey, this is what I want. So there's, and for other people, it's like, oh, well, you're gold digging or gold digging. And I want to put that too in comparison because gold and gold is the same thing. Right. And people will switch it up and say, well, you're gold digging. I'm a gold digger. I'm a gold digger. It's the same thing. Everybody's digging for gold. Everybody's going after something. There's something on the other side of that dirt that you want. Exactly. Everybody has it, but they use it as to insult women, to make women feel less than, and they brainwash us. No, you wanted femininity. No, I wanted equality. I wanted you to treat me good, like a real person. Like if I was going to go work somewhere, I would get the same amount of money. That's equal. That's the only equality type. It's about my finances. It's about my experience as a human being. You treat me like a second-rate human. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you doing your role as a male, being a provider, being a thing. That's not what I'm talking about. And I think that is very upsetting and ignorant of men who think that's what we're talking about, because now you're just giving yourself an excuse on why you don't step up and why you're not able to become a provider, instead of using that same energy to go become a provider. So then you don't even have to have these conversations. Like, I feel like we're helping men. Yeah, grow up. Because you got to grow up and know what women want. You want to experience a woman for real, and have a real wife and to have a real life, then you be able to give yourself that. That's when you get rewarded with your wife. That should be your number one goal. And I don't think that maybe your father did that. So that's why you didn't do it. And then, but was your father successful? Look at the successful men. They all got wives. Right. They all have some woman there. They're like, I'm married. Like, it's not, and they don't care about divorce. Jeff Bezos, you think he care about divorce? Get another one. I'm rich. I'm providing. I'm a provider. To hold that energy, see, that level, to be a provider, you're on the level of God. Right. You feed people. I had a real life experience with a real provider. And I'll tell you this story, because this is a good one. Okay. I got the opportunity to work with Eddie Murphy's daughter, and she wanted her hair done, and her stylist reached out to me. Reached out to you, and you got us the connections for me to go and do her hair at her home, at Eddie Murphy's home. Right. And I didn't get to know this until the day of. So I get to the home and, you know, I'm doing the hair and, you know, speaking to everybody, and I'm on this beautiful compound, and it's just like, oh my gosh, this is Eddie Murphy's home, you know? And I'm like, I can't believe that I'm here. I can't believe that this man who I've watched Coming to America, the first movie we ever had, and to be able to look at this man in his face, and he was so kind, so generous, and he was a provider. That was the one thing I seen. All his kids, they came and they looked, saw her hair, saw her getting her hair done. Everybody's really excited about it for her. And just seeing the way he was as a father, as a husband, as a boss, just all his staff, and it was just like, this man is a provider, and it's the energy he has,
right?
And it's like, he loved it. You know, he was the king of his own castle.
You know, sorry to interrupt. You know, he's a provider because you said his staff, and not because he's rich. He has a staff, but yeah,
he's able to give people work.
Exactly.
He's able to employ people and pay people, and he paid me,
right?
And I felt that, and he gave me a tip, and it was very generous. And you know, he held that whole home like it was his thing, and it was like, wow, like, to be part of this, like, anybody would want to be a part of that. I honestly was like, wow, this is so inspiring to see a Black man be able to provide for his whole family. Like, everybody there is there because of you, and it's amazing. So I think all men, instead of getting mad that a woman would want you to be like that, you should be trying to reach that level. You should be going after, not saying be rich, but actually get to the level where you can provide for people, and you can take care of people.
And first of all, if you can provide for yourself and you can provide for another person, obviously you will do it. So it's just a matter of your mindset, getting yourself to that level.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's beautiful when you can, and I'm sure that you would do it for your mom. So if you went out to eat with your mom, for example, would you not take care of the bill?
Yeah.
That's being a provider, but like actually providing consistently to a woman. So your mom should have trained you with that if you're a single parent mom.
I just think the reason why, because it came to my head. I think that the reason why some men don't understand this concept is because the women haven't fell into their concept yet. They haven't gone, and they're still doing what the men are doing. So the man is like, if you're doing what I'm doing, then why do I have to give you any of that? You're already doing what I'm doing. So if the women would be more in their feminine, would be more, open to having somebody help them and having somebody to depend on. Even if you're dependent on yourself, you depend on your boss to have you a job and to pay you every week. What if your boss couldn't make payroll? Think about it.
You quit.
And you're doing just as much work, and if not more, in the relationship, actually killing yourself in the relationship. And you are not even getting your requirements met from somebody who can do it. I don't even care where a man's at in life. He can provide, because men can work 2-3 jobs. I've seen men really work 2-3 jobs, and like, he's like, I got a girl at home, but she don't go to work.
Have you ever seen Everybody Hates Chris?
Yeah.
Her mom was like, my man got 3 jobs.
Right.
Okay.
Because he may not make a lot of money, but he's like, shoot, I'm going to spend all my time making the money that I can. You respect a guy like that. You respect a guy who's going to just stay working, because that means you're never going to you're going to feel safe. That's the thing. You're looking for security. You're not looking for like, oh, like, I'm just looking for the bag and I'm going to go run away and, never talk and treat him dirty. Like, we're talking to real women. We're talking to women who actually want to level up in lifestyle. Like, who actually want a husband.
Okay.
That's going to be a benefit to their lives, not a headache or a bill.
Right. So I was watching some of the gold digging videos that they have out there on social media right now. So there's a lot of men who are getting fancy cars and just like pulling over in LA and asking women, direction or, conversation, and having their looks kind of determine if the woman's going to speak to them. And when the woman says, yeah, like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Just, going by. And then he clicks and opens his door and it's a Lambo. And the girl's like turned back and like, is that your car? I was like, oh, like, and some women are very nice and they have a conversation with them and they prove to the men that they're not really gold diggers, like, okay,
right.
Like, I don't really care about your car. It has nothing to do with your car, guys.
Right.
That's all I wanted to say mainly about this thing. Of course, it can bring more attention and say, oh, okay, well, he looks wealthy, but anybody can rent those type of cars.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You never trust
it's
that.
like I have to actually.
I see past that though.
Right.
Like
that's what I'm
can
saying.
See past that. Like it's about the lifestyle that you have. People can tell like if you're faking or if you're for real, because it doesn't come down to like the cliche.
Right.
I'm rich things. It really comes down to the lifestyle that you're able to have, the way you dress. Like, I remember me and you, we were like in Santa Monica, and it was like this guy, he just like walked past us, and we was like, oh, he got money. And he had the simplest outfit on, but it was so clean.
Right.
And where he was going, I mean, where we were at. And it was like, he looked paid, and it was from his haircut to the way his cologne smelled. I don't even think we smelled it, but we smelled it.
Right. His haircut was so clean.
Yeah. Even everything he had on, and it's just like there's an energy, and then the energy that surrounded around him was like paid.
Right.
And it was like, that's gonna grab a woman's attention. She's gonna notice that.
And let's use a woman, for instance. She doesn't have she's not attractive, but she has a nice behind. And you're going to want to have a conversation with her because you just caught her booty. And
if you're a guy who's into
booties,
right? If he's into a big behind,
or
a big behind.
No, let me tell you something.
Yeah,
even
if
a guy who's
really
not really into big behinds, and I'm not. When my vision of seeing what I just said, it was like a natural behind, but like round. It just caught the attention. That doesn't matter if a man is not into a butt. That guy is turning around and may want to speak to that lady. Just from her shape of her body.
If he's not into butts, then I don't think he's gonna go talking to her, because then it will go to looks. It goes to like what he is actually into first.
Yeah.
Because if he's a looks guy, but her looks aren't there, but she got a body, it doesn't matter. Her looks aren't there. It's not gonna turn him on. There are guys who, even if he is with not the prettiest girl.
Yeah. But she has a nice
But she got
body.
what he likes, whether it's her boobs or booty. He's going to be
her
all
smile, her eyes.
Right.
Like
her
sometimes,
hair.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just like things that you may not notice. And the eyes can actually...
The eyes, they always tell you, the eyes, it's your eyes. I was like, what about my eyes?
Your eyes are a big thing. Guys can catch your eye.
Yeah.
He can catch your hair.
Right.
An eye, a hair, the body shape. It's a lot of things.
Right.
So it could be the hands too.
And they'll say, I like the way you walk. I like the way you talk. Like, it's just something about you, your femininity. There's a lot of reasons why a man will like you and want to have sex with you.
Because that's all they want to think about. I'm telling you.
That guy was ready to go down if it was something he handled. And he told her straight up, I can't do this. That means, that translates to, I can't have sex with you. So this is not going to go any further. It was never going to be friendship. It was going to be still me having sex with you. But
even if I didn't really like you.
Yeah, but after seeing you and it's too big for me, I can't have sex with you. Yeah. Sorry, but it's not going to happen.
At least he was honest. He's
like, I'm not going down the street with this girl.
That is crazy. I feel so bad because I was like, at least he could be her friend. But no, that's how much of a sex addict you are.
Yeah.
Like, you will not even do it because she is not attractive to you. Especially because you found her online, you wanna smash.
Right.
That is definitely something that you want to do.
But for women like her, they should just go for a guy who go on those apps, dating apps that are specifically for BBWs, like bigger girls, so you can just find the guys that are into that. Don't even waste your time trying to catfish and trying to get a guy.
You're just gonna hurt you're gonna just hurt your soul.
Yeah.
Even them, they're looking for you. Either or, we're looking for each other. Right. You know what I mean? So it has to come down to being the man and understand that you are a sex addict. You like it or not. Like, you want people for
you can understand why
what
men
you
will be more so sex addicts. I mean, women are sex addicts as well. We all know that.
Yeah.
But it's more common in men. And I remember this guy, I told him, I was like, you're a sex addict. He was like, you are too. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, no, you are. And some men, they just automatically think like, aren't you too? It's like, we don't think the same way.
No.
Because you guys have the external version of what we have that's internal. Mm-hmm. So our internal thing is a little more different than what you have externally, hitting your leg or whatever, brushing up on things, and just right there ready for you to go. Mm-hmm. Every second, any time of the day, in and out, pop, pop. It's so I get it, mm-hmm. but you can't get mad and not understand where we're coming from. Because if that's really what a lot of men like, yeah, that is part of the top of the thing.
Yeah, he said he'll give her 3 times of meeting her. If she doesn't want to do it, that can determine if he wants to speak with her or not.
Oh yeah, there was a blog about that, right? Mm-hmm. The guys will only give you 3 dates or something like that, mm-hmm. or he's not. Yeah.
Then he's out. Girl, you can get as much dates you want. It's your personality.
How many times he's going to keep trying? It's as many times as you want him to.
Especially if you are attracted
and it's up to him. And that's the whole thing. Guys don't have a problem trying to get you to see them as what they want you to see them as. Right. So if they want you to sleep with them, whatever it takes, they're going to do if they really want to do it. Mm-hmm. So make it worth it, ladies. Mm-hmm. Don't be desperate. Mm-mm. But definitely be, leveled up. That's leveling up. Mm-hmm. The ladies who are mad about it, the ladies who don't want to, acknowledge
that's how they feel too, and that's what they want in their life.
Because they're not making it, and they're not, getting that. You need to cut that out. And
stop
you need
dealing
to learn
with
from your
that
mistakes.
person that you have to pay for every time you go out.
Oh,
that is not a provider. We've already acknowledged it from our previous episodes. You have to have a rest too in your pockets. Mm-hmm. Have your rest. Try it out and see what happens, and come back and tell me, girl, this ain't for me. Because if you're enjoying pulling out your pocket, then continue to do that.
And if you're in that situation, I suggest you just really work on stop doing it.
That's what I said.
And take instantly, don't do it.
No.
And
don't do
let
it,
that person. You're not nobody's mother. And once you realize you're not somebody's mother, you're their lover. Those are 2 different roles. Mm-hmm. 2 completely different roles.
Right.
The man gets the lover when he deserves it. Mm-hmm. The baby and the kids get the mother because she made them. Mm-hmm. 2 different roles.
2 different roles.
One, you're being served. The other, you're doing the serving.
Exactly.
2 different roles. And I think that we got it messed up with the lover role. And women are just not... I mean, men... If you allow men to worship you the way that they want to and allow them to be men, it's a very beautiful thing.
It is.
If you allow that man to be the man he's supposed to be and allow him to grow and you encourage him and inspire him, it's a beautiful thing.
It is. It is.
But if you just handicap that man and you help him and you do all that with him, you're going to just hurt yourself, ladies. Because women, we know you could do it. We know you can do all the things that men can do, but let him do it. Mm-hmm. Let him get to the answer. It's at this point, you got to know you can make a lot of him. Mm-hmm. You make him for fun. So, of course, you can do what he can do. But it's not you to challenge him if you want him to do what's best for you.
You sex addicts out there, acknowledge what you are. Be the person that you actually acknowledge it. So it's not even that you don't.
That's what I'm saying.
You actually acknowledge it. And so the people who acknowledge that are usually online, right? And they're not trying to say that in your face until, they get comfortable with you, which is probably the second date. Even the first date. I'm telling you, I've went on dates with guys and I want to, have a conversation with you. I don't want you to think that I want to have sex with you. I actually want to, enjoy our time. But every time they always want to give me a kiss. And I know it's because of my lips.
Right.
But
I have the same problem.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, they're going for the kiss and I'm like, hold on, wait. Like, do you have respect?
Ask me before you come. Like, don't come
do you
close.
guys,
I'll do this.
Do you sex addicts don't know to say, may I give you a kiss tonight? Is that something that you weren't trained? Like, ask a woman before you want to do something. You don't
before you impose on her personal space, especially because I don't know you like that.
Because you just want to do it. I don't think that's respectful, and that shows to me that you're a sex addict. Because someone who has patience that they can hold themselves until, maybe the third date.
Right.
Or, the second date when you kind of feel more comfortable and you're...
But it's the first date. Don't try to kiss me. We're not even there yet.
We barely even know what's going on here.
Exactly.
Kind of invading my space, and it's disrespectful. But I don't say, like, hey, have some respect, buddy. I have respect for you where I just like, hey... But what I really want to say is, what the hell are you doing?
And this is the thing. Men don't really realize how much women go through, like, with sexual harassment. Like, even at work.
Right.
Even in, like, so many ways, like, men just assert themselves on women. Mm-hmm. And you guys... I mean, this is why we all know rape is a thing. And, sexual harassment, assault, all of these things. So don't get mad at the women for being who they are. Hypergamy, monogamy, provider. That's
number one in our
thing. Even when we was living in a time where women were ruling, it still was a thing. Like, you still needed the man in the picture. And that's why the kings, I mean, they had concubines and all these other women in the kingdom that, had their child and was there because he could provide for all of these women. He gave them a place to stay, eat the finest food. You'll become a queen, basically, and we'll have children. Like,
that's a provider. Right.
He becomes the king of his castle. Right. And men, because they don't want to take the responsibility.
Right. Be truthful. I don't want that responsibility.
I don't want that responsibility.
Fine.
Okay, great. Then you're not going to get that type of woman.
Right.
Period. You're going to get the type of woman that you're willing to take the responsibility of.
And don't get mad that she's going to fight you about certain things because she's not seeing you as a man.
Exactly.
So,
because how much a man can provide, I know, like, when I've been out with boyfriends with my family and they'll, like, take the bill and do big gestures, or I'll be out with friends and my boyfriend would take the bill and do all those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
That shows the women that you're with, like, like, this is the guy that I'm with. Like, you feel proud to even be with him. Mm-hmm. And this is me being honest of what other women think.
Yeah.
Is like, he gets a whole different energy to all of the women that are there. Yeah. Now he's the man because he took care of things. Mm-hmm. And that type of energy where women have that energy towards you, men, you become protected. You become more opportunities come to you. You got like a huge energy surge that just came to you just by doing this gesture around women. Like, that is bigger. Energy is a real thing. So I think the men who are successful, they honestly already know that. That's why they put themselves into their work. Right. And that's why they were able to become successful. They all got wives and they were all living their lives very independently in their own lane. All billionaires, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, all these guys, right?
Look them up.
You don't even see, they're all married, but they're all living in their own lane. They're not on Instagram trying to have the flyest clothes, trying to have this, trying to have that. Even their girls are not even on that level. Mm-hmm. Like, in the reality of it, they're just living in their own lane. Mm-hmm. Live in your lane, but make your lane worth living. Don't live in a lame lane.
Don't live every day with no purpose. Like, you have to enjoy your life.
Right.
And be a provider if you're a man. Do what you can. I'm sure that you would provide to a homeless person if you walk past and they were asking you, right? And some of you don't. And that's because you can't.
Right.
But if you
but
had
men
it,
who can,
they
do. The
that's
men
what I'm
who
saying.
can, they always do. Because it's nothing. It's not that big of a deal. That's when you really like, and it's great because I have so many experiences from friends, from, you know, people I've been in relationships with.
Right.
And it's like comes down to like, I've got to see what real men were like. And it's like, if you're complaining, and I've seen what not real men, what boys are like.
Right.
So there's difference from men and boys. Boys, they still need their mom. So basically, you're going to take the level of their mom because they need their mom. They're boys. Men don't need their moms.
No.
They don't need that.
Their moms need them.
Exactly. Their moms need them. They took the role as the head of household. They're running the show now. They've given their parents the break, and now they're able to fulfill that role. And they forever fulfill that role until they train their children enough to start fulfilling that role.
Exactly.
So it goes on and on and on. And now we have a society where the men and the women like, oh, we need to go half and half and half and half, but aren't able to build a family because nobody's raising the kid because she's working, he's working, she's
and they
stressed,
still haven't it.
And because they haven't happened, they end up more likely to divorce because at the end of the day, she's doing something that's not actually moving her towards anything, and he's not getting any type of respect, even if he's going farther because she, you know, put her name on it.
First of all, at the end of the day, I don't want to argue with you guys. I don't want to play this game. I don't want to do this. Oh, this is right. This is wrong. This is life.
Right.
Take it or leave it. You don't enjoy it, then don't live that lifestyle. We're not talking to you. Do what you do, sign off, and move on. What we're trying to tell these ladies and these men is to grow up if you didn't get to that level yet. Start saving your money. Do what's best for you.
Investing your money.
Invest your money in things that's going to make you more money.
Right.
Especially if you don't have any money. So it's about time that we start living our life. If there's so many billionaires, so many millionaires out there, why not make that be you? And I'm not saying that I got to $1 billion, but eventually I'm going to say before I leave this earth that I will, because I am going to manifest that. That's the life I want to live. But if you don't want to live that and you're mad at me because I want to live that, don't move. Don't question what I'm doing. Worry about what's happening.
Exactly.
With you.
Worry about your own lane. Be in your own lane.
Be in your own lane
now,
for sure.
But I think it's important, like you said before, like you got to look at the women that the men married first when he was building.
Okay.
And this is for the ladies.
It's
and
true.
The woman that he married second when he got to where he wanted to go.
For example, Kevin Hart, the ex-wife with the kids, right? And so she, you know, thinks that she would be special because she at least brought in kids. So like, I will forever last because my kids are here. And then he goes and gets a kid with the other family.
Men will start a whole new family.
All day.
He does not care.
All day.
It's a whole new family.
And that person's going to get higher energy than the first person who had the kids.
Because he's further in his career, more experience, already been in this situation, more willing to handle it better because doesn't want it to end.
Right.
And he's just more knowledgeable, more mature, more understanding of women, and understands what it's like to live with a woman.
And you can't be mad at him that he grew up. So when they divorce you, you can't be like, oh, wow, like, you're really going to do this to my family? Of course I'm going to do it for my family.
Right.
Because I only care about myself.
Right.
That's one thing about
addict, and this is what I really wanted, so I'm gonna go get it. What? I'm sorry. Just like that guy. I'm sorry, but I can't do this. What? I'm sorry, I can't do this. Excuse me? What do you mean you're sorry and you can't do this?
That's
and
horrible.
she was like, he was 33. That was another thing she said. He was 33, and I was like, sis, 33 doesn't mean anything.
You didn't say he was
33
50.
is young.
You
33 is, you just said 23.
Of course he's leaving. He's 33.
He's 33. He's like,
He's
I can do it.
He was like, I could do way better. I got hot girls on my,
No, she said he was ugly, but it doesn't matter. If he was
but he still had options.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll take you but I'm sure I could have took somebody else. Because he probably dropped another chubby girl.
Right.
And was like, dang,
it just wasn't his limit of chubs.
No.
He just needed a little less.
He was like, I can't.
She just had too much. But
Ladies.
I mean, I hope you guys really got to understand our point of view on the topic. I think we can put it in rest.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I think, I mean, if you still have
fighting us about like our opinions on being a provider, then
the lifestyle the
lifestyle I live in currently, I would just want that for other women. I'm just waking other women up to tell them that, hey, there's providers out there.
Right.
I remember when I lived in the East Coast, like my mindset was like a builder. Like I was building with these guys. Like I was taking my time with these guys, doing the most building than them. And I moved to California, and it was like, oh, people are actually providers out here. There's actually people who's actually willing to take the relationship to another level other than what I was experiencing.
I spoke to women about this because I remember this girl, she was telling me of how she was messing with this guy and he was from such and such hood. This is in LA, so I don't really know the hoods out here too much. But, he was like part of, I think like Death Row or something like that. So he had like, music clout some type of way. And she was just like, yeah, but this is the drama, da 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 da. And I was just like, and we're on set, and I'm just like, we're in Bel Air, and I'm like, look around, like, where are we right now? And she was like, we're in Bel Air. I was like, right, and there's houses, right? She's like, yeah, and I was like, and people live there, right? Right. And men live there, right? Right. And single men live there, right? Right. Some of them may like women, right? Right. And some of them may like you, right? Right. So you're dealing with guys that can't give you at least what this level of person could give you where you're at.
Oh, because I'm not a gold digger. How's that being a gold digger? That's just giving you a better environment. That's like, oh, I'm not going to
That's giving you what you actually want.
Right. And
because, ladies, I'm telling you what you want. I'm not telling you what you should want. Like you should struggle. You should do. What do you really want? Mm-hmm. Who do you really want? See, women are real when it comes down to it. Because, like, I know we haven't been in the club in a while, and I'm not even really a club person anymore. That was my old life, but I actually do miss the, music
being
and
the
being
option
outside.
to even go. Yeah.
But women who are in the club, if you've ever been a woman who, gets in the club and goes and gets invited to tables, that's the main part of going to the club. You're going to get invited to a table so you can sit down and have a good time if you're not there on a date. If you're there on a date, you're there with your date. You're probably dancing on the dance floor with your date. So that's a different experience. But if you're there with a group of girls, that's the idea. You want... every girl in there that's with their girls, you want to get brought to a table. That's like needs to happen. Or you're not going to have a good night tonight. Why?
Because you're going to be standing around all night with some heels on and no seat.
And no seat.
No seat, no drink. No one's offering you a drink.
Well, people will offer you a drink
at the bar
and take you to the bar,
but then usually sometimes those people, they just go over there so they can do that, but they actually have a table. You know what I mean?
Have a table for you too, and you go when you do that. But at the end of the day, you want that table. You want to sit down and have the experience,
yes,
right? Ladies, be honest. Don't be scared to demand more of yourself. Mm-hmm. This has nothing to do with the man, because there's men out there that can provide this. There are men out here who don't complain about that, who don't care about that. They just want you to be a woman. And it's like you find out by trying to play the men's game, you mess up in your own game.
It's true.
And that's why you can't attract those kind of men. Because I'm not saying, oh, okay, all women can go out there and get those kind of men. No. Those guys aren't idiots. They're not going to take a bad deal. Like, you got to be what those men would want, which would be somebody as disciplined, as passionate, as, like, doing something with their lives as well. And that doesn't mean, like, the little stuff that...
That's why that guy, he couldn't do it with the woman because she was too overweight. You know what I mean? So not everybody is going to be at the level that they want you to be, but you have to be able to have confidence in yourself.
Right.
And look good. Because you could be a chubs, but still look good. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just got to remember that your neck game, it can't go too big. Like, you got to control your neck.
It's got to be self-control. Like, I mean, I think that's another thing. Like, people are not really taken into the consideration of health. It's like not even aesthetic-wise. It's like men want healthy women. You're not healthy. If you're overweight and not, you know, taking care of yourself and you have bad eating habits and you, like... skin is bad and you know you just look like sick, men aren't going to be attracted to sick women. Especially if he wants children, especially if you don't look alive, you have issues. So
take care of yourself.
Focus on getting your health together.
Right.
Have the confidence, yes. You know, love yourself no matter what size you are. Mm-hmm. But you should be actively staying, you know, improving your health. That is the number one thing you need in this world. It's like eating. You have to really control that, especially if that's the issue. Because I think fitness is a huge thing that holds a lot of women back, that you can be receiving a lot more. And people don't want to talk on it so much, but a lot of these women, like the reason why they're not able to get what they want, it be as simple as weight. Because it's like, y'all would be mad pretty if you lost the weight. It's like you lose the weight and it's like your face goes to what it's supposed to look like. And it's like, wow, you're actually pretty.
Mm-hmm. It's a scary topic. It's just like gold digging, sex addict. It's not a conversation to talk about. It's not. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just not okay. It's not okay to talk about somebody's weight. That's what your parents will tell you if you considered, like,
not openly to make fun of the person, but as a health conversation, it
even if a kid who was health conscious and seen an overweight person and asked them, why are you overweight? That person will feel offended. Right. But the kid doesn't have the consciousness of them saying something bad
to offend you. Right. They just want to really know, like,
how'd you get there?
Yeah. How'd you get this way? And I think it's more of a conscious person who can respond to that.
Right.
Because it's being honest with yourself and then wanting to make a change that can answer it. Mm-hmm. That's the only way, you know, that can actually be answered, is if the person is honest and conscious enough to say,
that's what we need to be. We need to be conscious enough to make a decision and understand where our faults are, where we're at in our life. Can we improve in it? Of course you can. You can improve in anything that you're doing in your life. There's no limitations to anything. There's no cap.
Right.
Do what you want to do.
But then there's also, like, the will.
That's what holds everybody back. There is
willpower.
That willpower.
Do you have it to actually do what it takes?
Right.
Are you able to do what it takes? And we all got to face it. We all got to come and show up and do the work and in any type of way.
And we all got to be gold diggers, because we got to be gold diggers, diggers, anything that can get us to the place that we want to be. Point blank. Period. You don't have to fight anybody of where they want to be in their life. You want to be low level, you be low level. I'll be on my high level and keep going higher and reaching to the sky until I can't see where I'm at anymore.
Right.
So
I'm on a whole new level that wasn't even the top level.
And I won't even see you anymore because I'm so gone.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Because we've come to this life. We've come to this life to experience. So if you just want to experience comfortability, no, nothing too extreme. You want to stay at a comfortable stage. Stay there. You don't want to do what it takes. You don't want to go through all of that. You don't want to go through all of that. Fine. But don't get mad at the other people who's willing to do what it takes to get to a higher level and bash them because they surpassed you. Don't put yourself up against somebody who's not even in the same lane as you. That's not healthy. Instead, you should just be like, okay, if that's something that I want to be able to do, I'm going to thrive next to it. If it's not, forget what they said.
Right.
Their opinion. But for people to really, like, not understand, like, simple, like women are going to change their minds after all the way that we
and tell us how this is impossible. Are you living under a rock? No, are you?
Right. This has been
Are you kidding me? Like, there's a lot of people still living in this lifestyle, this mindset, this whole living, this being. But you're living under the rock because people are doing that. People are living that. And people are experiencing that.
Men need to realize, especially the ones who are complaining, if you look to prostitution, let's take it to that. That is the oldest profession in our known history, right?
It sure is.
And to this day,
I seen someone actually doing that when
$1 billion industry. You still can make, and women are successfully making money doing that. Why? Because of sex addicts.
Why do they have the OnlyFans?
Right. Because of sex addicts. Because of what you guys would consider gold diggers. But it's fully functioning. It's a fully functioning system that whether you take it to an extreme, as in getting a prostitute or doing OnlyFans, or just taking it to another extreme and going on a date and taking the girl home to sleep with her. One has a different price than the other, but it's the same result. Just because you can't afford this one, which gives you more power, which gives you more option, which gives you more accessibility with your money, just because you can't use your money to get you further, easier, and more directly, don't get mad because you're chilling in the part where you gotta still talk your way into a girl's pants and do the hard work and, buy her food if she's smart, clothes, and da-da-da-da. You want to play in that end, you play in that end. You want to play in this end, you play in this end. But just know you're still in the same game.
Right.
Period. If I can make that simple enough.
Yeah. So while you guys hear all these chatters, don't forget to go ahead and follow us on our social media, Nothing's Wrong Podcast. And also, if you would like to donate to this channel, it's Cash App, $ Nothing's Wrong Pod.
Also, we definitely love speaking to you guys. So we do have a special 15-minute consultation.
Yes, we do.
Call that we are providing for anybody who needs any personal consulting, whether it be about, your level up journey, relationships, or just want to chat and talk about, whatever you have an opinion on. We would love to connect with you. So email us at nothingswrongpodcast@gmail.com and we can take the conversation a little more personal, and it would be really nice to get to know you guys, because these dialogues, these conversations, this getting to know all of us is a beautiful thing, and it's great to do this, especially during these times.
Yes, and I hope you guys are out there being safe and doing the right thing.
Whatever that means.
No, really.
So always remember, guys,
nothing's wrong. Oh,
happy
Halloween.
Spooky. Okay, guys. See you next episode.
Bye.